Cloning is a relatively simple technique. It is commonly used in livestock industry to enable the genetic output for several mating to be multiplied. It is, however, limited to twinning for the safety of surrogate mothers and the health of babies. To showcase this process, the embryo cloning we'll use today is the example of a cow. Cloning in general has a huge future ahead of it. Some examples of this could include resurrection of extinct species, immortality, solution to world hunger, no more degenerative diseases, which could result in therapeutic cloning, and this leads to a more cohesive understanding of biology and medicine.
In order to undertake the process of embryo splitting, a female cow and male bull are chosen which both have desirable inherited commercial characteristics. One or several surrogate female cows are also selected to carry the offspring. It's really out of my control. The female cow needs to superovulate. In order for the cow to do this, it is injected with fertility drugs such as Clomid or Seraphine, which cause the hypothalamus and pituitary gland located in the midbrain to release hormones such as FSH, also known as the follicle-stimulating hormone, which activates the process for ovaries to release more eggs. Following the injection, a waiting period of 3 to 5 days is recommended for the cow to continue superovulating, in which new eggs will be mass-produced. The eggs can then be harvested or mated with a bull naturally. If harvested, eggs can then be fertilized with sperm from a bull through in vitro fertilization, commonly known as IVF. I really don't want you to go.
Here we have the growth of an embryo.
But I don't know what to stop. The embryo at the early stage of its development is then divided into 2 or more smaller embryos using a very fine glass tool. And what I do is not your problem. Just let me love you. I just landed in another atmosphere. I'm just floating in a stained sphere.
2 embryos from the splitting of a single embryo can be termed demi-embryos.
I know I come from the planet that you tell. Years ago, I do my flows and then I get so lost. The divided embryos are then implanted into the uterus of the female surrogate cows, in which the development continues. Go to the top of the pyramid, After the gestational period, the surrogate cows give birth to calves which are genetically identical to each other.
Embryo splitting can produce identical twins, triplets, or quadruplets, according to what the researcher wants. Offspring, as a result of splitting embryos, are not genetically identical copies of its mother, the female cow, nor the father, the male bull, which provided the sperm and the eggs for its formation. Instead, they are genetical copies of each other. This is because the eggs and sperm produced by its mother and father are not genetically identical to each other, as the gametes were produced by meiosis and not mitosis. In the process of meiosis, genes of the egg and sperm are juggled and reassorted, meaning the offspring from the splitting embryos derived from different fertilized eggs from the same meeting will genetically be different and unique.
Advantages of embryo cloning. Number 1. All new plants are genetically identical. They will all have the same desired characteristics. Number 2. Organisms that are difficult or slow to breed can be reproduced faster. The multiplication of embryos can also be useful for plant varieties that have seeds that are dormant for long periods of time. Disadvantages of embryo cloning. Number 1. If a clone is susceptible to a disease or change in the environment, then all clones will be susceptible due to the lack of genetic variation. This then leads to step 2, where the lack of genetic variation creates less opportunity to create new varieties in the future.
I don't feel like talking, whatever, 'cause it's really out of my